So, hey, Miss Eclectic. So I'm a certified licensed massage therapist. And this was my first week going back to work. I'm so happy. So anyhow, I've been kind of channeling a lot more than I usually do. And it's been just kind of like, meh, I don't know. If I had to like describe my channeling and everything, I've actually been channeling, or I've noticed I've been channeling since like at least like puberty. So when puberty hit, I ended up having some weird occurrences happening. I would sit there and I would have I would be able to like foretell things that would happen like the next day. I mean, it wasn't like anything crazy. It was just like, oh, well, I'll have toast and then I'll read and then I'll do this or hang out there, and my mom will have me go this place and that place and blah blah blah, and then that'll be my day, and then I'll just come home and sleep. And then I wake up in the morning and it just goes through the fucking routine of the whole dream, and then I'm just like, oh, okay. And then I go back to sleep. And for a time there, I actually was sleeping quite a lot too. I was channeling quite a lot, and I really didn't even understand, but whatever. I was starting to develop those abilities. And so it was when puberty hit. So between like the ages of like 11 to 12 was when all of this was like really starting to pop off. And then I ended up doing something that I just kind of, I don't know if I should regret it or not, but whatever. I had a dream, a premonition of a woman. She was dressed in like a white dress, and she was in a bed, and she was in a house, and she kind of like invited me in. She showed me where the bathroom was. We kind of just went through stuff, and I was just like, okay, so I could trust her, and I felt comfortable, and it was okay, woody woo woo. I don't know how long it took, but then my mom finally decided, like, started dating. And when she started dating, she went and took me to go see the boyfriend finally. So we go to the house, and I'm parked outside, and I'm feeling a type of way, like there's like this type of sensation that's just going on. And I'm like, okay. So I go through the door, and it's the fucking house in my dream. And so I'm just like, oh, okay. So I sit down on the couch and I just start watching TV, and my mom and the guy and whatever, and she introduces me, and she's like, oh, hey, this is blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then I turn around and I get to a point where after a moment I was just like bored, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And they're like, oh, and he pops up like, oh, well, the bathroom is, oh, I already know, the bathroom's right there. And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, I've been here before. They're like, wait, what? And so I start describing the black woman in the white dress in the bed that was supposed to be right there in the living room, but you guys don't have the bed anymore. And she showed me the bathroom. The bathroom's right there. That's the kitchen. And then there's a garden that's over there. And so she just showed me everything. And she was just like, hey, this is my home. That's my guy. But, like, let your mom know, like, hey, everything's cool. And you guys can come over and it's all chill. Woody woo woo. So I sit there and I describe everything to a T. The look on his face was like, oh my god, and the look on my mom's face in between him and me and everything, and she was like, oh my god, I broke my motherfucking mom by doing that. I literally broke my mother by channeling and figuring shit out by talking to the dead. It's not the first time. I used to also, there was this guy in our apartment, and he was kind of sad. And at first, when I was in my mom's room, I had messed up in my room so bad that for some reason I was just sleeping in my mom's room for a little bit. I don't know why, but I don't know. So while I'm sleeping in my mom's room, there was a pair of eyes that floated over and were looking at me, and the eyes were red and angry, and they went to the point where, like, it was like if it was a figure, the figure went from being all tall to, like, the eyes came all the way down, like, towards the bed, and these eyes are, like, red and glowing and angry, and they're, like, just, like, if the person was standing up, and they just slowly, like, lowered down this way to come and intimidate me by looking at me with these really, really, really red eyes. And it scared the shit out of me. And so I projected my fear. And the fucking entity felt my fear and felt how sincere I was, that the eyes turned from red to fucking like a bluish white. Mostly blue. And they were just like, oh shit, I am sorry. And then they projected that energy back like, Oh, okay, you're her mom and you're not bad, okay. Hi. And I was like, wait, what? And so I picked up on it, and then from there, I ended up having a telepathic conversation. And this man showed me that he hung himself. I don't know what era, I don't know why, I don't know whatever, but the man showed me that he hung himself. And that's how he died. And I told him, energetically, telepathically, whatever it is, that's really sad, I'm really sorry for you. And just by doing that, he was like, oh shit, thank you, that was really nice. And then he was gone. I was like, oh, okay. Just giving him sympathy. But yeah, so when I ended up channeling like that for my mom, it broke her to the point where she had me baptized. Like, I remember counting like 5 times, 5 different churches that I went through that I was baptized at. One, I think, was in Skyline because my mom's like best friend was like living out there at the time. They in Temecula, smart. Another is it was like down in like City Heights. I'm in San Diego right now, so I mean, like, Skyline should have a church that has my information. City Heights should have a church that has my information, and a couple of other like communities too within the San Diego place. It would be like 20 years though, and quite honestly, I highly doubt anybody's gonna be like, let's look up this bitch, because it would be under my real name anyhow, my birth name. And so I don't know. I don't think anybody would really want to turn around and figure that out. But I was baptized like a few different times because my mother thought that I was possessed, I was a demon, I don't know. And so I created a blockage in myself in order to deal with that, because I seen that it broke my mother that much and it disturbed her that much that she was trying to like baptize fucking demons out of me. And I'm like, bitch, there's no demons, like, stop it, just stop it. So I did that myself, and I put a block up on. The block was not a complete block. And I mean, I was still able to turn around and channel things and work through stuff, and I was able to do things. And eventually, after she died, I did end up becoming a Reiki master practitioner, and I was working on my blocks and stuff as well. And then I've been fasting, and I'm going through and I'm undoing more and more and more blockages. And so that's basically it. Like, sometimes, like, when people, like, when we overeat, we're actually overeating because we're kind of like hiding and running away from something, a block. I mean, that's why I smoke as much as I do. I don't drink, but I smoke hella because I channel, and I'm still not to a point where I have become adjusted to it. So yeah, it's just kind of one of those things, and I'm just getting to a point where I'm kind of acknowledging it and allowing it to happen, and it's just really different. And I don't know if there are other people that feel the same way, that are like, man, I know I'm going through this life and this world and everything, but there are certain things that I tap into that I am able to do and I'm seeing and whatever. You're not weird. I don't know why. It's just some weird human thing. Like, if we can't describe it, then we don't understand it. But it's just like, look, when I look at a crow, and I'm sitting here and I'm contacting and I'm talking with a crow, but we're doing like that intuitive conversation. Crows don't pray. Butterflies don't pray. Your dog doesn't even pray. Your cat don't pray. Your bird don't pray. Animals don't pray. What do? They walk in the faith. They walk with the fucking whatever it is that is the universe. Like, they don't have to sit here and worship some deity in order to connect to that Most High, because the Most High is how they go through this life. Like, the gods and goddesses are just evolved versions of us, but there's something even higher than that. And that's what animals walk through. They walk in that faith of just knowing that they are connected to the all. They don't need to go through a motherfucking channel. They don't need a middleman to get to the all. They walk with the all, you know? They walk with that Most High, with whatever, however you want to call it, that higher consciousness, the supreme everything of everything. They do that on their own. That's why when there's something like when you've seen those tsunamis and all them animals just turn around and they gone and they're running up the hill, they are gone, they are away, and all the humans are sitting there by the beach like, oh look, the water's going, which way did it go, why is it leaving? And then that shit comes back and then it washes you and you're all gone, and the animals are sitting there like, y'all didn't feel that? Because we felt it. And that's basically how I channel. I don't need to turn around and put a label on it. I just walk with it. And it walks with me. And it tells me shit. And I do have like some guides that kind of help me to figure it out. But one of my guides is a future version of myself. And the other one, this bitch, I just don't... Yeah. But anyhow, I don't know, maybe I'll explore trying to get deeper into it and trying to explain my journey and how I'm getting through it. If that might be something that might help you, by all means, I am here of service and I'll try to explain it. But for now, I'll cut this off. I'm going to talk about some experiences that I've had as a massage therapist though. I'll be back. It's Eclectic out.